Big welcome everyone and welcome to our live class. And again, we're feeling very romantic here at Kay's Flower School. It is coming up to Valentine's Day. And like during the previous lives, we've asked you like, what would you like to see? What would you like to see demonstrated? And the amount of people that were asking us about packaging and presentation, sustainability, environmentally friendly, bouquets of flowers, bunches of flowers. So what I tried to do today was bring everything together. And I'm going to do, or have done, a couple of these sort of classes, so make sure that you watch out for them. And if you don't interact with our page, you will find that you don't actually get notification when we go live. So it's really, really important to give us a thumbs up. But because we're feeling romantic today, you know in your emojis, you see the little red heart. So I want to see as many red hearts in the comments as we can possibly see. But also anyone that would like to re-watch this again at a later stage, because I am going to go through it pretty fast here today. If you click save or if you click share now, you will be able to re-watch it later on. Because I can't guarantee that you'll be able to watch it on our replay. We're not sure whether we're going to leave it up there. So if you click share, it'll be on your page and then you'll be able to watch it on the replay later on. So what are you going to need today? So sorry off camera for a second. So have your notebook and pen ready that you can take down some notes kind of as I go along. But I am planning today to do it pretty fast, okay? And I have a lot of the prep work done. So that means it'll go kind of smoother for us, right? So this is more just giving you a taste of what it's going to be like. Obviously for our students here of Kay's Flower School, you will see a lot of the behind the scenes and the background because you see that as part of the commercial courses and the professional courses. Well, when we do the free live classes, you might think I'm being a little bit mean. It's kind of more giving you a little taster, feeding you in or reeling you in, like if I had you on a fishing line, you know, that way. So what I'm trying to say to you is we would cover all of this as part of our Module 2 program. So this is just a new package. We're continuously adding to our professional courses all of the time. And I know we would have students who did Module 2 maybe last year or the year before or the year before. You will be given opportunities and special discounts, etc. But for anybody going forward, okay, like our next Module 2 is starting the 15th of February. And I know a lot of them because they've already covered Module 1 and they are probably thinking Valentine's Day. So we will be giving you early access to this particular section of the program so that you can watch it in advance, okay? But obviously I have about a half dozen of these sort of classes, but it's all step by step, showing you all the measurements and exactly how I'm getting the materials kind of organised. But first of all, who's watching in, where are you watching in from, and what's the weather like? Have to tell you, here in Dublin, it's absolutely freezing cold it is. So I have to say, I'm glad of this red romantic sweatshirt that I'm wearing today. So I'm just going to throw the tissue paper and brown paper out of the way. So I've cut a rectangle piece of brown paper. And what I'm now kind of doing is I'm kind of like folding over the two corners of it, creating a kind of a peak, you know, that way. And obviously as this is a live class, I can't come in close to show you in detail. But obviously in all our pre-recorded classes, you know, that way we can stop our videos, we can zoom in and we can zoom back out again. But just to let you see the effect that I've made with the brown paper. Then using 2 sheets of tissue paper folded over, I have created the exact same effect, okay? And I'm just now going to layer one on top of the other, and I'll just kind of bring it up just so that you can see that effect. Now, as I said, to save time, I have a lot of it like pre-organised. But this is all covered step by step in slow motion on our pre-recorded classes where you can rewind them and watch them again. Plus, as part of our professional programs, we supply you with all the materials. So this is something that you can try out yourself. Now when you're cutting up the brown paper and the tissue paper, you always have what I call remnants or leftover pieces. So what I've kind of done with any of these like leftover pieces of brown paper is I've just kind of like folded them kind of irregular and just kind of made a few of these sort of shapes. They're not all the same, so you needn't worry too much about what exact shape that they are. And also the same with some of the tissue paper. Now I do have the tissue paper with 2 layers together, you know, that way. And again, I just have them kind of folded, kind of irregular. They're not all exactly the same. And I'm just going to leave them just to one side. Now this is not a hand-tied bouquet course. But as part of Module 2, we do cover like the spiral technique, hand-tied bouquet course presentation, but all the different techniques of presenting hand-tied bouquets, whether it be in an aqua pack is like a bubble of water, or whether it's in a porter box. These would be these portable, transportable boxes for presenting the bouquets in, or if it's wrapped with brown paper, if it's wrapped in cellophane, wrapped in tissue paper, using organza bows, using hand-tied string, and using paper ribbon as well. So we cover all of that as part of Module 2. And kind of think with Module 2, there's over 20 different designs covered, but the hand-tied bouquets is just one part of it. We also teach you how to do funeral sprays or coffin sprays from 18 inches long right up to 6 foot long. So if you want to do it on a casket, the length of the coffin or the length of the casket, we cover all of that as part of Module 2. As well as all the different funeral tributes, funeral wreaths, like round wreaths, hearts, crosses, pillows, cushions, gates of heaven, you name it, it is all covered on Module 2. Now, foliage wise today, I'm going to use some of this Italian ruscas, which is absolutely fabulous. And I'm just going to cut it into in half. And then when I cut it in half, I'm just going to pull off some of the ends. So I have like a nice clean stem. And that's our top piece there. Now, any of these little pieces that you pull off, you can use them in your smaller flower arrangements. So I'm just going to use the 2 stems, cut them both in half. This one is okay. And just take a little bit off this. So today's class is about presenting maybe half dozen roses, okay? I might use a little bit more ruscas, I'll see how I go. I'm going to add in a little bit of bear grass, okay? Like the bear grass with the roses. And obviously you could use gyp or wax flower, or depending on the colour of your roses, solid asters, sea lavender, limonium, statice, sea sprays, you can use any of them. So if you want to clean your roses down foliage wise, if you use a stem stripper, we do have these stem strippers for sale on our website. So go to our website, www.caseflowerschool.com, go to Floral Sundries, and you'll be able to clean down these stems. So it's just a way of removing the leaves, but also it takes the tips of the thorns off at the same time. They are absolutely brilliant. They're not that expensive. Actually, you have it for years and years and years. So it just saves your hands. So get yourself a stem stripper. But any of the details on our classes, we obviously, if you go to our website, again, caseflowerschool.com, click on our professional commercial courses, and in the drop down you'll see Module 1, Module 2, Module 3 and Module 4. Now for the 15th of February, that's when Module 2 is starting, but we do recommend that you've covered Module 1 before you go on to Module 2, because obviously on Module 1 you're also learning about suppliers and purchasing your flowers wholesale, purchasing your materials wholesale, where you get the best prices, the minimum quantities that you have to buy. Like you can't buy that amount of bear grass or that number of roses. You have to learn about the treatment and the conditioning of it. Now that's also something. If anybody there is watching and you haven't yet signed up to our free conditioning online program, it's absolutely free. You're mad that you haven't signed up to it. All you have to do is go to our website. Hopefully somebody there is watching and they're putting the website address in the comments below. Celine or Jackie or Tracy, all my regulars. So again, put in www.caseflowerschool.com. And if you go to the blog button on our website, and when you click into the blog, scroll down till you find the conditioning program. And you can sign into it, use your email address, use a password, you'll have access to it straight away. And there's over 60 different classes on the treatment and the conditioning of fresh flowers and foliage. Okay, as I said, keeping this simple, I have a bit more ruscas in case I need it. So I'm going to start off with a length of ruscas and a little bit of bear grass, a good bit of bear grass. I love bear grass. Now this is not a hand-tied bouquet. I'm keeping this really easy and simple for anyone there that has absolutely no training. It's a bunch of flowers, okay? So there we have our first flower. And what I'm going to do now is add another little bit of bear grass because I love bear grass, and I'm just going to add in another little bit of foliage. So kind of think of my foliage as being something I layer between the roses. You know when you're making a sandwich at home, a ham and cheese sandwich, okay? So you butter your bread and you put on your slice of ham. The first thing I do anyway is I lash on a bit of mayonnaise. And then I slap on the cheese on top of it and I lash on another bit of mayonnaise, or my son puts tomato sauce on, and some other people might use that new Perry mayonnaise that's out at the moment. But you know the way you layer the mayonnaise or the salad cream or whatever you're going to use in between your ham and your cheese? Well,
I like to put an onion in there.
Well, that's complicating things, Deirdre, now, like for feck's sake. But I suppose me bear grass can be me onion. But like layer it like you're making your sandwich, okay? So then, you know, I mean, another little bit of cheese, you know, that way kind of like layer it there. And okay, for Deirdre, we'll put a little bit of onion in, and then we put another little bit of mayonnaise in, right? And then we layer it, and what we back on another slice of ham now at this stage, and maybe a few more bits of onion and a few more bits of greenery, just maybe onto that side. Our onion and we're done, isn't it? And again, our last couple of roses. Are you getting the idea? Like, it's keeping it nice and simple and making sure the cheese doesn't get hidden in there behind the onion. And sure, listen, lash on another bit of onion. If anybody is joining, they say, what in the name of God is she talking about there, the onion, when she's actually handling bear grass? But as I said, it's keeping it just dead simple. Do you know that way? Again, for anybody that's watching that has never actually made hand-tied bouquets, because this is not hand-tied bouquet. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to bring my brown paper and my red tissue paper close to me on the table. Kind of looks like a pair of knickers, doesn't it, Deirdre, right?
Pair of drawers.
So pair of drawers. So we're just going to lie that down on the table, and I'm going to layer the flowers then down on top of it. There is also a way of actually displaying them, or, you know, making it up as you go along, as I say, while it's actually resting on the table. It is another way of doing it, but I just find it as easy to make them in my hand. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over this side of the paper, and I'm going to bring over the opposite side of the paper. And it's kind of like I'm tucking them kind of around each other, like a duvet or a sleeping bag, like wrap it around there to keep yourself warm. Absolutely freezing today. I could do with a sleeping bag. So now what I'm going to do is using my two hands, so like a hand on the right and a hand on the left, okay? And I'm going to kind of like gather this in, okay? So gather it in there, nice and tight, and then I'm going to take it up in my hand. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart. It looks quite well. I'm going to bring up that bottom rose up there a little bit more, just so it's not kind of hidden down there kind of completely. And this is what it's looking like so far. But I'm not finished it, okay? So this is where my extra pieces of remnants, as I call them. Do you remember years ago when if you had a small kitchen or a small bedroom or a small box room, bathroom, you used to be able to go to Des Kelly. Is Des Kelly still alive?
I think so.
The shop is there anyway, whether he's alive. Do you remember he used to say, I buy by the mile so you can save by the yard? Now that's when we did miles and yards. I suppose nowadays he'd be probably saying, I buy by the kilometre so you can save by the metre. But he always had remnants. So if you went up and you had a small box room, bathroom, etc., he'd have like the end part of the lino or the carpet, and you always got a bargain. You're probably saying, what in the name of God is she talking about? But these are my remnants. Anybody watching there in around my age group or older, do you remember Des Kelly? Do you remember the remnants? And is he still alive? So what I'm now going to do, I do this very casually, and you learn how to do it with one hand. Now I know if you're only starting off, you'll be fumbling all over the place. But I'm just taking one of these kind of folded irregular pieces. I'm going to fold it over on the table irregular, fold it kind of like back again, do you know that way? There we go, I'm a bit all fingers and thumbs here, and fold it maybe back again there, and just kind of catch that in at the end, okay? That's the sort of effect that I want. And then I'm going to take up a brown paper, and I'm going to fold that and fold it back again, and again I'm going to catch that in at the end. And I'm going to get another brown paper, and again back and forward, and we catch that in there at the end. And back to another bit of tissue paper. There's no particular number with these. You can use as many of these as you want. It's just to kind of give me a bit of detail at the end of the bunch. I'm doing this instead of tying on a bow. I'm not going to tie a bow on. And plus, like for anybody that's looking for something that's a little bit more sustainability, you know that way, like I'm not using any kind of like florist ribbon. So again, not a little bit. This whole bouquet can be thrown into the recycling bin.
Compost bin.
Compost bin, sorry. Because even the The sellotape that I've used is actually compostable sellotape. So again, another little bit of our remnants of brown paper. Anybody remember this, Kelly, Deirdre, or are they all younger than me?
I think they're all a lot younger than you, Janette.
Haven't a clue what I'm talking about. So again, I think there's nearly enough there. I've one left over, but I don't think I need it. What do you think?
No, it's lovely, yeah.
Okay, next thing is your hand-tied string, which I just have taped to the counter here just so I could find it. And hopefully you all have your own set of teeth, okay? Don't know how you'd manage this if you had false teeth. So you come around, crack it in your out. There we go. Bring your fingers in through the loop, catch the little twine, pull it tight-ish, wrap it around 2 or 3 times, and then lie it back down on the table. And the short little piece of string that I left sticking out originally, I'm now going to tie the 2 of these together in a double knot, pull it nice and tight, tie the second knot directly on top of it, cut off my spare bits that's left over, trim my ends, not too short, there we go, and there is your cheap, well I won't say cheap, sorry, your inexpensive way of wrapping up 6 roses with a bit of foliage, with a bit of bear grass, and again using sustainability methods, using our brown paper and a tissue paper and not tying on a bow. So hopefully you've liked that idea. Anybody that would like to learn that, would like to learn it like step by step. If you're a past student of Case Flower School and you've already covered Module 2 and you've finished your training, you're probably in our Bloom Studio. Because all our past students that have completed all their online training, Module 1, 2, 3 and 4, you all graduate, you even get your black hats and your black capes, they all graduate into what we call our Bloom Studio. And in the Bloom Studio, they all get free access to all of the newer courses that we bring out. So it just means, and it costs them absolutely nothing to be a member of the Bloom Studio. And again, they get that help and support from us here at Case Flower School. As our motto goes, once a student of Case, always a student of Case. Now for any student that has just covered Module 2 and hasn't yet graduated or not planning on graduating into our Bloom Studio, if you contact us, we can obviously offer this course as a discount price to you, where you will learn a half dozen variations of this particular bouquet, but showing you all the tricks in detail, like I do all our other courses with you. And again, anybody there that is interested in signing up for our next Module 2, it's starting on the 15th of February. We'd absolutely love to have you as part of that course. And again, this new program has been added in, ambulance passing there, sorry. Our new program on our presentation bunches, our presentation single flowers, as I said, of a full range of them, that has now been added into the Module 2 program. And if any of the students on the 15th of February want early access to it, we will be able to facilitate that. So again, everybody, thanks a million for joining. Hope you all have a wonderful Valentine's Day when it comes around. Chances are I'll be on live again beforehand to show you another few little techniques. But if anybody has any questions about Module 2, drop me an email, info@caseflowerschool.com, or would you like to have a chat? Give me a ring, 01 for Dublin, 4538 649. See you all, talk to you soon.